That is a real true blue daddy. This girl ain't even thought boo about her dad in 50 years. Hey guys, it's your girl Ayesha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Secret Level. We're on season 1, episode 11, which is called Exodus Odyssey. So I will be covering episodes 11 and 12 in this episode, but we're going to start it with episode 11. And I have not heard of the game Exodus. I'll be real with you. I have no idea what it's about. So it'll be interesting to find out what this story is and how they decide to play it off. But the last 2 episodes were really good, particularly the first one. I thought it was really thoughtful and actually told a very interesting moral story. So we'll have to see where they go with this one because it is, once again, a bit of a longer episode. So I don't really have much else to say. I'm ready to jump in. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
Among the stars, time is the most precious resource.
I can imagine, especially if you're human.
A new world that had always been too small to hold Mari Hansen.
Love the motorbike.
Mari's mother died in a harsh winter soon after landfall, and her father, Nick, raised her the best he could.
Thank God.
You're too young and it's too dangerous.
But Dad, I'm only a few months short. Nobody's gonna check my registry, and...
Spoken like a true traveler. Rafe Sabatine, you must be...
On her way home.
Right? You sound like trouble.
Maybe you can find an artifact that would make Leiden less of a...
frozen hellscape?
Damn. They ain't lying though. If it's cold like that all the time, all year, yeah, I'd have to get off the planet too. Sorry, Daddy.
Finally done with Sabatine's ship. Held together with tape and chewing gum. But
The way he said that, he don't like Sabatine.
There's all kinds of trouble. Let's see why Mari's so smitten.
Yeah.
Stinky son of a bitch.
Guess he knew his daddy wasn't paying the bill. That sucks though. Like for the poor person, her dad who had to waste time and resources fixing that ship. Oh, and she went with him. Dad, I'm really sorry for leaving like this, but I hope you understand. Oh, and you went with a thief? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, bro.
But one port of call was Scotia, the same world his daughter was bound for.
I really hope that's where she ended up. I don't trust that man at all. I feel like that dude just used her to get off planet and probably ditched her the first chance he got.
Nick had spent only months in slip time on the cargo hauler, but in actual time, Mari and Rafe had suffered long, hard years on Scotia.
I feel no empathy for Mari. I'm sorry. 3 years for Nick. How long for Mari? Oh my God, Mari's gonna almost be the same age as him, if not older now.
Rafe and Mari left 12 years ago for Hevelius.
Damn.
They were after a map of lost Atelier
But it
worlds.
sounds like she's happy doing what she's doing, so that's all that matters.
I'd give anything to help.
Oh, okay. Simba said step back. I feel horrible, but I really am starting to think it's gonna be bones when you find your girl, man. And I'm not even putting that in a mean way.
Nick surrendered himself to the Celestials, becoming a member of their indentured human crew.
God, all of that for a girl who's... If Mari wanted to come home, she would have come home by now. I hate to tell you this, but that's the truth. She's not been looking for you the way you've been looking for her. Which, sadly, in my opinion, is a bit selfish, but that's the reality of some kids, you know? What's on the steering wheel? It's like a necklace? What do you call it? Gear shift. Whatever that is. Oh, damn, Mari.
That voice.
Make your run for the gate as close to the warship as possible.
That is a real true blue daddy. This girl ain't even thought boo about her dad in 50 years. 50 years, she ain't even thought about him. That was baller. That's why you should never mess with the people who are actually fixing your ish. Oh, damn, those ships are terrifying.
I see him!
Where the hell's Rafe? Where's this man? This useless man?
I'm sorry.
Wait, did she just self-destruct? Damn, Mari just gave up.
Through some miracle, Mari survived.
And now she older than her daddy.
But Mari's injuries were too severe.
Across the entire cluster.
At least they got to spend time together. I guess Rafe didn't make it.
He took solace that she'd lived the life of adventure and wonder. The life
Of a
of a
traveler.
traveler.
That's a good dad.
Your grandmother, Thady, and I were good friends. I owed her a debt. With her gone, I reckon this belongs to you.
What's this?
It's worth more than every ship here. And Port Bearing besides.
Figured I owed a bit of interest.
Right, it's been a minute. It's been a couple of generations, to be perfectly honest. You never seen that man again. To outlive your child, man, that's crazy. Like this. Like actually outlive them, not some tragic thing happened to them when they were young. She literally pretty much died of old age and injuries. Oh, homie said, well, I guess I'm gonna travel now. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that was Exodus Odyssey. Pretty sad, to be perfectly honest. Not a happy story when you, well, I shouldn't say that. It was in some ways. It's all gonna be different for different people based on kind of like your own experiences and how you feel. I'm someone who's incredibly close to my family, and I just could never imagine just taking, like, I understand, we're gonna get into Mari's side in a second, but I understand why she left, but it's more the never checking in again part that I think was a bit cold, and that part I'm kind of like, you know, we could have done better with that. But in the end, you know, it was, she wanted a life that was more than what her father wanted. Her father, different experiences. He was tasked with taking care of a child on his own after losing his wife the first year they were on this new planet. And you know, that's, for some people, when they lose someone, the way that they respond is to become hyper protective of the people in their lives. Like now, since they've lost someone, they're very acutely aware of how fragile and fleeting life can be. And now they want to kind of almost grip everything that they have maybe a little too tightly to vainly try and keep them safe. Because truth be told, there's no guarantee that if Mari had stayed on their home planet, that nothing would have happened to her, right? I'm not putting that in the universe, but you get my point, right? So anyways, in the end, Mari was always, her eyes were in the sky, right? Like this planet was never going to be enough for her. Her real dream was to go out there, explore, to check things out, to learn about the giant galaxy around her. And her dad really didn't have a better reason for her not to do that than you're too young and it's not safe. Like it was never really going to be 100% safe. Nothing in this world's 100% safe. But you know, in the end, I mean, the way she left, not ideal, but I really think that the next time, because remember, I guess she was underage at the time of when we started this journey, right? She said, I'm just not a few months younger than I need to be to apply for this thing. Point is, if she hadn't snuck off on that ship with Rafe, she would have been on the next application as soon as she was of age. Her dad wouldn't have been able to stop her at that point, right? So I understand that and I respect it because it's true. Sometimes your kids want something that the parents don't want, and it's not always great for the parents to accept that. Sometimes for some parents, it's very hurtful to accept that their child wants to do something that they deem to be inappropriate or unsafe or just the wrong path altogether. But that is the right that we all have as human beings, is to follow the path that we want, that we think is going to make us happy, even if it isn't the path that our family or other people like that want us to do. So anyway, that's what Mari did. We didn't get to see the whole letter, but I think we got the gist of what she probably told her dad was that, look, you know, I didn't want to leave like this, but I couldn't think of another way that I'd be able to do this where it wasn't going to be dramatic. So I took this opportunity. Plus she was a kid, right? I'm assuming if we're going by our world's definition, she was maybe 17 years old, right? So we are very impetuous at that age. We don't think about the long-term effects of our decisions. We just want to live in the moment, live in the now. So anyway, we see that because of who she left with, which is the part that Mari didn't really know. She didn't really know anything about Rafe and the history he had. So that's really what made her dad feel even more uneasy about the way she left and the fact that he left on a stolen ship. So he actually spent the rest of his life basically trying to find Mari and bring her home. And again, I keep wondering now that I'm saying it and talking through it, maybe Mari had heard about him looking for her. It's possible. And then she probably made a point maybe to stay one step ahead of him because she didn't want to be brought back to Lydon. I mean, if her and Rafe were, clearly they were finding things. They were getting some level of success with the exploring they were doing. And that's like a drug for people who love discovering, right? Like people who are in discovery types of careers like geology or archaeology and things like that. Like, they are addicted to results, right? Is if they make a breakthrough, they really just don't want to stop. So I feel like that's how Mari was, is once she got a taste for that discovery, she couldn't have at that point, right? She would have never been happy if she hadn't tried to continue to pursue it. And maybe if she had heard that her dad was coming with the purpose of, and she knew that the purpose would be to bring her back, she just made sure that she would never be, she wouldn't be available. She wouldn't be found. And as I said, I still think it's a little bit heartless because you're your dad's only child. You know that he's worried about you. Like, you could have at least sent a message. You could have at least gave him a little heads up to be like, yeah, I'm alive, Dad. I don't want to come home though. So please, let me be, but nothing. Like, she just got so wrapped up in what she was doing that she just didn't really care if her dad knew if she was alive or dead. And maybe it's because she never became a parent herself. She didn't understand just how devastating that can be for a parent and how, like I said, quite frankly, in my opinion, heartless that can be. But thankfully, we see that her dad never looked at it that way, right? He was just so focused on making sure she was okay. And I feel like if things had not happened the way they did, like him losing his wife so quickly and him feeling so, and we saw that the show said that he wasn't a rich man, but Mari meant everything to him. His whole focus in life was that little girl, which is not necessarily the healthiest of things. I mean, it's a great thing when children are little, they should be your priority, but as they get older, you need to find things for yourself. And I don't think that Nick ever got the chance to find something of his own. He was just so solely focused on Mari that became his life. Like, his mission was to continue to find her, and he didn't ever stop to think like, maybe there's something else I could be doing, because after a while he began to figure out she's clearly okay. Like, she's bouncing from place to place. Again, I guess the time discrepancy is maybe why he in his mind kept thinking that Mari was probably a child or still quite young. But it's kind of like, after it had been like 8-9 years for him, he had to know Mari's not a kid anymore, right? She's not a kid anymore. She's an adult and she's still doing this. So my point is, if he hadn't kind of centered his entire existence around her, he probably would have realized that she really don't want to come home. Like, she's clearly, wherever she is, she's happy, that this is where she wants to be. So maybe I should back off. But then of course he finds out about the whole thing with this, what were they called? The Celestials, who looked like they were some type of weird alien, I don't know, android crossbreed, I don't know. But they looked terrifying. It looks like they had significantly advanced technology. And as soon as he heard that Mari and Rafe were on their radar, then it became literally about saving her life, because now it wasn't just her taking on potentially dangerous missions. It was about literally having the worst of the worst coming after her. So again, he just kind of, his whole life became about finding Mari. Like, we could just relabel the theme of his life to finding Mari. And that's kind of sad to me, like, that he didn't have anything else. Again, maybe he didn't want anything else, but either way, we see that eventually he did. The paths finally crossed at the right place. He even sold himself into slavery, quite literally, which, considering that character was not exactly, we all know what ethnicity that character was supposed to be. But anyways, he sold himself into slavery, literally, just so he could be in the right place at the right time, which turns out to be, it was a good gamble for him, because he did get to at least stop Mari from being completely obliterated, or worse, probably captured by these Celestials, and God knows what they would have done to him, or done to her. But we see that they got to at least spend, we don't know how much time they got together afterwards, but it looks like they did at least get to spend some time, and she got to tell him all about her travels and her discoveries and everything. And her dad he just continued to take care of her. Like, he just didn't even, like, you can see there was never a didn't I tell you, or I told you so, which, petty people might have, but he literally would he took care of her as he always has, and just listened to her, and they obviously exchanged some stories. And, as they said, he tried his best to keep her alive as long as he could, but in the end, he had to let her go. And I love that they put that line, because truthfully, as I was kind of saying at the beginning of this review, he really should have let her go years before. Like, when she made it pretty clear she was never coming home, that should have been when he really just had to let her go and let her live her life as she chose to live it. But it came to this, and eventually he did. Like, as much as he tried to keep his baby with him, she got to the point where she was like, I need to go, Dad. You need to let me go. So anyways, I like that they also said, though, that he was happy that she lived the life of a life of an explorer, because that's what she wanted. That's what she'd always wanted, and she literally fulfilled her dream. Didn't exactly end maybe the way she wanted, but she followed her heart. And so that's all you really want as a parent, typically, is for your child, hopefully, to do what made them happy. And that's what she did. So anyways, we see that he, even though it had been literally 5 decades for Mari. It had only been just about a decade for him. He was older, but still has some time left. So he just came back to their home planet, dropped off a payment for a friend that was long gone at that point, because of course on Lydon it had been another 40 or 50 years. So he just did that, and looks like now he's gonna do what Mari did and just explore and see what's out there, because he really has nothing. His life is his to live now, is what I'm taking, right? He spent so much, from the second that little girl was born, that was his full priority, and now that she's gone, he's really free to do whatever it is he wants to do. So yeah, very, like I said, maybe not the happiest story ever, but a beautiful story of connection, a beautiful story of following your heart, and a beautiful story of parental, parent-child relationships and how complicated but also beautiful they can be. So that was great. And I think they did a lot in a very short amount of time once again. So let's move right into episode 12, which is called Spelunky. Tally, never played that game. I've never even heard of this one either, but just looking at the thumbnail, I think we're in for a little bit of a fun ride. I think we need a little perkier of a story going into this next one. So hopefully that's what we're gonna get. So let's jump into that episode right now. Oh, this looks like it might be a mobile game. It's giving me mobile game vibes. It's a kobold! Sorry, that looks a lot like a WoW kobold. Yeah, this is definitely giving me a mobile game. You can make it! Ooh, tuck your toes. Ooh, close. Ah! That's a punch. That's a fist. How did you not die? Respawn? You didn't need that light, did you? Good.
I died from a mine. Stepped
Makes more
on it.
sense.
Did it hurt?
Mostly my feelings.
That was a whole leg.
You know, every time I die, I scratch a mark in the wall.
Oh my
Memorial
god.
for the version of myself that died.
Yeah, but you're still the same person.
You sure about that?
I was about to say, you sure?
And I think this next one just might be my run.
Well, I guess that's the attitude to have. Have fun. If this is your world. Ma'am, your
Spear
reflexes
trap?
are terrible.
Never felt better.
I mean, you gotta give her props. That is the definition of the right positive attitude, right? Life is gonna kick you down a lot of times. You gotta just keep getting up. I mean, thankfully we don't die multiple times, but you get the point.
Oh, come on!
Oh, discouraged for the first time.
I died 82 times.
She's counting even if she's not scratching.
Like my heart is tired or something. I'm not sure why I'm even doing this anymore.
Every day, just like every time you walk through those doors, it's a new adventure.
They're still up here. They're not gone. They're mine.
All yours, just like I have all mine. And each time, a new adventure waits, just for you.
A lot of life bars in that sentence. They wanted to let you know.
You were marking adventures you created.
Good way to look at it.
Maybe the next one will be your run.
And just like that, we got our fighting spirit back. It's looking like next time's not going to be your run. If she's been there that many scratches.
Here goes 80-something.
That one was short, but, cute. I'd say that one was definitely all. I love that they called. Now I understand what Tally. I thought Tally was the name of the character, but they meant Tally as in, how they were counting. Yeah, I think that one, just a lot of metaphors for life in general. I mean, again, we don't get infinite respawn if we don't, if we actually leave this place, but we do get knocked on our butts a lot. And sometimes we have those moments where even if we are the most positive of people, we go, what, why are we doing this again? Is this worth it? This is hard. Life is hard. And every time you think you've got it figured out, you get a curve you never anticipated. What do you do? And as the mentor in this, they basically said, look, it gets rough, but with all the bad, there's also a ton of good, and often a lot more good than there is bad. So instead of kind of looking at all the ways that you didn't make it or all the things that didn't work out, maybe focus on all the good stuff you had and the experiences, and also the lessons that are there to be learned by these so-called mistakes and failures. So yeah, that one was really short and cute. Again, I feel like it gives me mobile game vibes. So I feel like, again, very thin plot most likely to begin with, but they managed to kind of throw something cute around that. And as I said, I feel like if anything, that was just a really good little short around keeping that mental attitude positive no matter what life throws at you. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next one.